Hi there folks, welcome back to Rich Reviews. How are you all doing? You're getting this review probably Friday night, so Wednesday I had the wonderful pleasure, no not really, of seeing Transformers The Last Night, or the last of anything is a misnomer. Directed by a person who sold his soul by claiming that the last film was going to be his last film in this franchise, yet he sold out yet again for another paycheck, if you can believe it. Plus a whole bunch of screenwriters who claim to have actual writing ability, but judging by this film, no they don't. Two people here are credited for the first Iron Man, another person here is credited for Black Hawk Down. Apparently Akiva Goldsman provided the story for this, which tells you something about Akiva Goldsman and how far he's willing to do for a paycheck. They claim here that if enough interest is warranted, they make a sixth film to wrap up this franchise. Well, I saw this Wednesday afternoon. I was the only one in the screening. The only people that I spoke to after this film was the cleaning crew, which is just, they themselves were amazed how little people were interested in seeing this film. The plot, if you can call it a plot, involves Merlin and his descendants. Yes, Merlin and his descendants. Merlin here is apparently a heavily bearded Stanley Tucci, which shows you how far Stanley Tucci does not want to be associated with this franchise. And Merlin here has a staff that can or cannot determine the fate of a planet, which I guess makes less sense if you actually think about it. I also apparently learned that the Autobots have been here for thousands of years, which I think to myself, or at one point we see a whole bunch of photographs with the Autobots in it, and I think to myself, oh brother. Also returning is Mark Wahlberg. He looks bored. Incredibly bored. He says his lines in each thing and then he moves on to the next scene. I just wonder why he wants to return to this franchise in the first place. Is Shia LaBeouf not busy at all? Apparently he's being hunted by a paramilitary force. Why? I don't really have a clue why, or because apparently this film needs an explanation as to why. It's a lousy why, and I don't care to explain to you why. Optimus Prime returns. And he's seeking his creator, and he finds his creator on Cybertron. His creator looks like a reject that Star Trek wanted to use for a Borg Queen idea. And I guess she has the ulterior motive of wanting to resurrect Unicron, who apparently last time we ever saw Unicron was in Transformers, that animated film from back in the 80s. And also, yes, Megatron is also in here, and he's bored as can be. And after Optimus Prime goes bad for 30 seconds, he then turns good, and then once again starts espousing libertarian values. I say this, folks, Optimus Prime 2020 libertarian candidate for president, folks. Make it happen. And of course here, I have not mentioned Anthony Hopkins. Is Anthony Hopkins in dire financial straits? Because all I can think of is like, Anthony Hopkins is thinking to himself, I was in one of the most celebrated series of last year in Westworld. Why would I do Transformers? Oh, it's because, John Voight did Transformers 1. I mean, Frances McDormand did in Transformers 3, Dark of the Moon. Also, Kelsey Grammer was in the last film. Titus Welliver was in the last film. If you can tell me who was in Transformers 2 that lost their shred of dignity, that'd be amazing because I don't remember. Everything that Anthony Hopkins says goes in one ear and goes out the other, because quite frankly, he just says a whole bunch of nonsense and I just have to go along with it. Oh boy. And considering this is 2.5 hours, this all once again goes to, oh look, the evil robot has a high fortress area in the clouds in which they go up about 12,000 feet, and in which this mission here is to destroy the sword, destroy this thing that wants to resurrect Unicron, and this thing is led by Josh Duhamel, who looks extremely bored, and apparently joining him on this mission is Mark Wahlberg. Also joining them on this mission is Laura Haddock. You'll remember her as, Pure Quill's mom, because quite frankly, this franchise needs a hot, sexy babe because, hey, look, Megan Fox is out, Rosie Huntington-Whiteley's out, Nicola Peltz has some shred of dignity and she decides not to return. Before they land on this planet, Mark Wahlberg discovers that this 14-year-old girl, played by Isabel Warner, who is filmed, sneaks aboard this helicopter-type ship. And Mark Wahlberg cannot believe that she would sneak up onto the ship, and she says, but of course she says, we're family after all, but it's like, yes, but I wouldn't have a 14-year-old girl going into battle. It just makes no sense. One of the more ridiculous moments, on top of even more ridiculous moments, is just, wow. Here's the thing, folks, I happen to like the first 3 Transformers films. Yes, Revenge of the Fallen, I cannot defend that film in any conceivable way. I still enjoy that film for what it was. Yes, a hot steaming pile of crap. But here's the thing, the first one and number 3 at least had shades of gray, or at least a dark feel to it that make you say, okay, we can be involved with the story here. But it's like, I can't get involved with the story. I don't care. And now, of course, they want to make a Bumblebee film. Great. I may not see it. Here's the thing, folks. I believe you could, with the emphasis on could, make a good Transformers series with the right director, and he hire a good set of writers to flesh out a universe. But again, that's too little too late with this franchise because it's been sullied by this particular director's type of skill. Again, good heavens me, if he sells out the next time, he may have just lost his soul permanently. Transformers The Last Night, to me, is an irredeemable mess that, again, sullies everything I care about the Transformers. Now, of course, again, I'm a 30-year-old person here liking a film about robots that can change. And this franchise needs a serious rethink. Transformers The Last Night, I proudly proclaim the worst film of 2017. Yes, it's even worse than Resident Evil, The Final Chapter. So folks, what did you think about Transformers The Last Night? Did you actually like this film? Good for you if you did. Please tell me in the comment box below. Please rank the Transformers franchise and what is the best film of this franchise to what is the worst film of this franchise. If you want to see this handsome face again, click the subscribe button. As always, folks, enrich yourself with knowledge. I'll see you next time, folks. Oh, there is nowhere to go but up this summer here, folks. I'll see you next time.